Hey everybody, happy New Year's Eve, happy Sunday. This is Sports Fanatic News. I'm Joe Boric. This is the final NFL prediction video for the season in the final week of this great NFL season. Well, today we have the Cowboys versus the Eagles. Dallas, according to Score, is actually favored against us in this game for likely the reason of they will play their starters most, if not all, of the game because they have a full offseason to recover if anything happens, unless if it's a awful injury. And then, per ESPN, they're also favored, but being the Eagles are at home and they're going for their 14th win, and I think the offense under Foles will get out to a good start this game and not come through two straight games getting off to bad starts for the 2 to 4 or 5 drives they play. I think they might put us out in front enough with our defense stopping Dallas to, as long as we can stop Zeke, to then carry us to win this game, and then Sudfeld will just have to kind of hold us, and then it would be great to see him get some points on the board himself. Detroit against Green Bay at home at Detroit. Detroit's heavily favored, and that's a good decision because I think they're going to win that game. Indy at home against Houston will go to Indianapolis. Chicago on the road against Minnesota will go to Minnesota because no matter if they decide to sit their starters, they still have Bridgewater as their quarterback, so it's not like you're going off of a big mountain here to play your second guy. And then New England at home against the Jets. That will obviously go to the Patriots, who knew it. The Jets have not looked as good since Josh McCown has got injured, which is very unfortunate for Josh McCown, who was having a great season and really helping the Jets' young guys like like Hackenberger to get better, the former Penn State quarterback, to possibly be the Jets' future quarterback. And now that Bryce Petty's in, because they don't want to force a experienced rookie into a situation yet, it is not the best decision, maybe on their part, but I see where they're coming from. So they haven't been good since Josh McCown got injured. They haven't delivered much of anything in a game. Washington and the Giants, that's a divisional game, but it should go to Washington. Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Cleveland's going to go 0-17. Or 0-16, and Pittsburgh will win that game. Carolina and Atlanta. I think Atlanta will win that game at home because they want to clinch that final wild card position. And then the Bengals at Baltimore. Baltimore will win that game. They're actually 9 to 10 point favorites, depending what you look at, and they will clinch their final. But they would clinch the 5th seed of the AFC for the wild card if they win that game, so that's a big game for them too. Miami and Buffalo, that's a meaningless game that I think Buffalo will take on the road. Jacksonville and Tennessee. If Tennessee loses this game, they don't clinch a spot. If they win, they do. I think they will lose. I think Tennessee's favored to win by a couple points. I think Jacksonville would slightly upset them. It's not too big of an upset on the road. And then Kansas City and Denver. I'm assuming Kansas City's going to rest some of the guys, so I'll actually give that to Denver at Denver. And then San Francisco at LA. I'm actually going to give that to San Francisco because Jimmy Garoppolo has just been balling. Oakland at the Chargers. The Chargers need a win in this game, and the Chargers will get a win in this game at home against Oakland, Seattle, and Arizona. Seattle will get that win. And then, of course, no teams have a bye week in the final week of the season. Well, it has been a great NFL season, and there's going to be many more great games once the playoffs start for our Eagles in Philadelphia, but also many other teams. The Chiefs will be interesting to watch because they took an epic decline this year from having a great record and then started rebounding again. And then if the Chargers make it, they're always an interesting team to watch because they're led by Phillip Rivers. And then Pittsburgh's always an interesting team to watch to hope that they can eventually get over the hump against the Patriots, because it's always good to see somebody else in the AFC and not as the Patriots. And then Baltimore has been coming on strong, so if they are able to clinch without having any unforeseen things happen today, they would be one of the hotter teams going into the playoffs. And we always talk about momentum going into the postseason, and they would definitely be one of the teams that have it. So they'll be another interesting team to watch. And then, of course, Atlanta, Matty Ice always gets hot in clutch situations. There'd be the playoffs. So they would be an interesting team to watch. So those would be interesting teams that are not as thought about to watch in the postseason. Well, have a great New Year's Eve, everybody. Be safe. Have a good New Year's celebration, whatever you're doing. This has been Sports Fanatic News. This is the final prediction video for NFL games of the season. I'll also do some in the playoffs, but this is the final seasonal one. Peace out, everybody.